Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. I hope that you are finding peace in your situation and your day right where you are at this moment. Today, I wanted to talk about expectations. Expectations that we put on ourselves, expectations that society puts on us, which we are society. So, again, expectations we put on ourselves, expectations that we have of others, and expectations of just how things are supposed to play out in your mind. And when you sit back and you think about expectation, it's really the beginning of our programming as a human being. Expectations start with parents and parents' doctors and parents' views of society. So when a child is born, we set all these mile markers for children to hit because we expect you to hit that because you are part of this program. But what a what a burden we program into children of having those expectations of reaching mile markers and competing against time and competing period. And it really, at the youngest age you can think of, really starts to take away your soul essence of just being who you are and who you came to be. And it's part of control. It's part of the human experience, and it's sad because anytime you feel disappointment in a person or disappointment in a situation, it is because expectations that you set in your mind of how you would like to control that person or that happening or whatever it may be. It is you and your struggle for control. And for me, expectations tie directly into unconditional love. And in some senses of it, I would even argue to say that expectation is the opposite of unconditional love. Because when you have unconditional love for something or someone or something or whatever you have unconditional love for, which I hope is self, and that's really the only thing you need unconditional love for mindfully, because if you unconditionally love yourself, you unconditionally love everything. But anyways, when you have that unconditional love, you accept things for exactly what they are, good, bad, or indifferent. You have unconditional love for another person, not because they act a certain way or they say a certain thing, but just because they are another soul that is just trying to find their way and trying to live life the way they've been programmed to live it, and how they see fit in their own reality to continue to push forward. It's such a shame that we have such high expectations. And expectations of self are, I think the only expectation of self should be expecting yourself to unconditionally love self. So it's not really an expectation, it's just love. It's just acceptance. And we are our harshest critics, and we put so many expectations on ourselves and so many expectations on our journey and so many expectations on timelines of when you're supposed to be doing this, and based on the collective. And that is where we really have created this toxic society that we live in, is these expectations of where we should be and what we should do and how we should do it. And we have completely lost sense of self from a very young age. And I talk about young children, and it's something that I work on, and reprogramming myself as a parent is, I used to have very high expectations. And I always thought, if you didn't have expectations of your children, you're fucking wrong. Like, what an injustice you're doing to not have expectations and hold them to a high standard. But what I'm coming to learn is the detriment that and the self conflict that you create within your child when you have those expectations from your reality and you really cannot see from their perspective because it's so unique, because it's them, it's their universe. And what turmoil we cause within them. So the shift that I'm trying to make as a parent, and I struggle. I mean, not struggle. I often joke about the ping pong ball in my head, constantly going back and forth between ego and soul. Is like, should I do this? Well, it could be that, it's constantly trying to walk the middle path and find balance. But what I'm trying to instill into my 12-year-old, and what I'm trying to, my son's a little more fortunate because he's only 2, and I can start to be more mindful of how I'm raising him from a very early age. But with my 12-year-old, it is hard because I'm trying to unprogram the program feelings that she has. And it's a task, and by me saying that I'm trying to unprogram it, is all I am doing is trying to give her the keys to unprogram herself and to not set expectations. And I what I tell her, and I know I'm going to be judged for this, but I really don't give a shit. I tell her when she is feeling down and feeling the pressure of life that fuck everybody else. And not in a sense that fuck everybody else, I don't give a shit, you're nobody. But fuck everybody else in the sense that it is your reality, sweetheart, and you have created these expectations through the programming of your parents, and that's me. And it breaks my heart when I think about, but also it is beautiful in a sense because it's our journey as individuals that are directly related, and a soul group that we are growing together. So it sucks as a human, but solely it's beautiful that we can ascend together and unprogram together. And I just remind her that, everybody else's drama, everybody else's negativity, everybody else's whatever should not, again, expectations should, they don't need to influence the way you conduct yourself. And, a lot of people probably, when they heard, fuck everybody else, and I even tell her, fuck what I say even. If you live from a place of love and pure intention, that is the way, in my opinion. Again, opinion. But love is of the God vibration and the God frequency. And when you radiate love and self-love and unconditional love, then you set everything, all the negative, all the expectations of everything, including self, you set them outside of your reality, because you know that you are acting in a pure manner when you live from unconditional love. And, unconditional love of self is the most important thing. It's something I hear people beat themselves up, shoulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda, coulda, everything. I could have done this, I should have done that, and that's regret, and that's a lower vibrational feeling, and it serves you absolutely no purpose except to bring you down and to lower your vibration that you work so hard to create for yourself, and in a sense of living a happy life. So try to go into things and be mindful of expectations you set. Even after you set expectations, before you go into an establishment, or before you go into an event, or before you interact with another person, ask yourself the question, what are my expectations of this person, of this happening? What do I expect to get out of this? And you're going to catch yourself coming up with a million things that you expect, because it's what we're programmed to do, is have expectations, so we can feel that self-doubt, that uncertainty that expectations create. Because when you set expectations, there are so many, there are infinite factors that play into happenings and other people's reality. Infinite. So with that being said, you should realize that, damn, infinite things that could affect this situation are all in play. It's impossible to have expectations in that train of thought, because fuck, infinite. Let's stop having expectations. Let's try. It's hard. Programming is very hard to break, and people think you're fucking crazy for thinking outside of the box. But you know what? That's their expectations of how you should act. So, like I tell my daughter, fuck everybody else. Unconditionally love self, and you will live a pure path that is down the middle and balanced, and your life will blossom, and those around you will blossom, because you've created a space of no expectations. Therefore, everybody can be authentic and be themselves. So I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. I hope that you can be present in the moment. I have a lot of people telling me their anxiety and all these things. Again, expectations of what the future should hold is where that anxiety comes from, or just worrying about the future is just expectations. So let's try to rid ourselves of expectations and just go with the flow, the divine flow of unconditional love. It's powerful. It's beautiful to say. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.